Stu and Dave Do America present Audiobooks Gone Awry.
Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Rings, by J.R.R. Tolkien, on audiobook. Read by RFK Jr.
Chapter 1, The Long-Expected Party, when Mr. Bilbo Baggins.
That's like my worst nightmare, I think.
It is. I think they should set it to the Quran.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
If he read that, I think people wouldn't believe it as much. Probably save a lot of lives.
Oh, no. It's one approach. I think it would work. It would be effective.
I have a book. I think if there's a way, I think I have his phone number. I think I'm going to call him and be like, say, would you want to do me a big favor? I'm in no way making fun of you. This is completely real and legitimate.
Right. Yeah. You just want a well-known voice.
Yeah, that's
voice
it.
your book. That's all.
I love that he chose Lord of the Rings, the third longest book ever written.
All right. We've got a lot to get to today here on Stu and Dave Do America. So let's get going and do Kimmel's latest buffoonery. Welcome to Stu and Dave Do America. Dave Landau.
Ahoy, and we meet again.
We do.
This is the first episode I've worn a hat.
Really?
Yes, it's bad.
Would you like a hat counter? So that's another thing we need to keep track of.
We could do a hat counter. I normally don't wear a hat to the show.
Is that because you know you're going to be on television?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I thought.
So, but I was running behind, and I just grabbed a hat.
You didn't want to just let us see your luscious locks with like bedhead?
They're pretty good.
Yeah, let me see.
Not the worst.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, no, it's looking pretty good.
They're all there.
Looking pretty good.
Just leave it like that the whole time.
Yeah. Ooh.
So for people that tune in late, they're like, "Is he okay?"
Did he just have sex?
And I'll just be like that. Yeah.
He's got tussled.
I just had crystal meth sex. Hello.
Looking good.
I wear it maybe backwards, but I don't think you're supposed to legally if you're 43.
Yeah, no, they do.
It works though. I'm gonna do it. I don't care.
I said what's the show? Gilmore Girls? You familiar with Gilmore Girls?
Who isn't?
Yeah, you watch all the episodes?
Every one of them.
If you have a daughter.
I've seen a commercial for it.
Yes. So Gilmore Girls, very long series that ran for, I don't know, 8 or 9 seasons. Well, a lot of seasons, a lot of episodes. I know this because my daughter's watched all of them like 56 times.
Yeah.
The guy who's like the main love interest, backwards hat the entire time. The entire series, every single time you see him, at least that I know of, backwards hat. And he's like the main cool guy love interest.
Well, I mean, he's got a backwards hat. He's got to be a cool guy.
He's got to be a cool guy.
I like that.
That's the way it works.
I got to check it out. I was thinking, what was the One Tree Hill? That was where the dad was the love interest of all the kids on set when the cameras were off, right?
It's an unfortunate side effect of that particular program.
Yes.
I would imagine.
I really didn't know about him until I saw a show. I think it was called Hollywood Monsters.
Really?
Recently. Yeah, I never watched One Tree Hill.
I can't say that I have.
Yeah, nobody. It was on.
I don't think I know the story. So I assume, was molesting or hitting on.
Yeah, his daughter on the show. And I mean, she was eventually of age because that's how time works. And they were dating.
Really?
But not when they started.
No.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah. You don't want to be making a Woody Allen type argument.
And you're like a preacher and a wholesome dad. And yeah, it was pretty bad.
I mean, it's better than his real kid. And I guess you could argue with Woody Allen, there was some layer of separation from a biological standpoint, but was his actual stepdaughter, right?
It was his adopted daughter.
Adopted daughter. Yeah.
And he's still with her, so is there points there? I don't know.
No. That's like when people say, hey, no, yes, he's an illegal immigrant, but he's been here for 40 years. So that makes it better?
Well,
I mean, isn't it better if they've been here for a week?
I'd rather you were an illegal that was here for 40 years than you were married to your daughter for 40 years.
There are levels.
Yeah,
there are levels. All right, we were supposed to talk about Jimmy Kimmel.
Sorry,
we're like halfway through the segment. We haven't even started that yet. But Jimmy Kimmel made a joke. And what better person to talk to about this than Dave Landau, a person who makes jokes regularly.
I do.
I would say for a living.
Yeah, some say.
That is your role in life. And I think Jimmy Kimmel considers himself to, I don't know, does he consider himself to be a comedian, would you say?
No, I don't. I think he considers himself to be, as he said recently, you don't tell him what his job is.
Ooh, that's spicy,
In
dude.
an interview, so yeah.
Was he mad at you when he said this?
No, he was in an interview with Michelle Obama.
Okay.
And that's what he said.
I think I saw the screenshot of that, and that's why I didn't click on it.
That's why.
Yeah, that's why I knew it would be something terrible. This is what he said that kind of caused all the controversy. If you haven't been following the story again, it comes after the assassination attempt against Donald Trump. Now, this particular joke, it's important to understand, came before the assassination attempt on Trump, and that's one of his defenses in this situation. Here's what he said.
Our First Lady Melania is here. Look at Melania, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow.
Right, so that's the joke.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is President and First Lady now demanding ABC fire Jimmy Kimmel over the widow joke. Let me give you the case from the Trump administration perspective. Here is the press secretary Levitt.
For example, as the First Lady of the United States pointed out this morning, just 2 days prior to the shooting, ABC's late night host Jimmy Kimmel disgustingly called First Lady Melania Trump an expectant widow. Who in their right minds says a wife would be glowing over the potential murder of her beloved husband? And having experienced what I did with the First Lady on Saturday night, I can tell you that she was anything but that. This kind of rhetoric about the president, the first lady, and his supporters is completely deranged, and it's unbelievable that the American people are consuming it night after night after night.
Are they, though? I mean, I've seen the ratings. They're not doing a lot of consumption.
That's going to be a big part of it. I mean, I understand. Look, if I hire a birthday clown to come to my kid's birthday party, I want him to do jokes that are good.
Right.
I don't want him to be,
right.
Talking about the murder of president while I stand in the other room and not watch it. It's an odd, to be honest, it's just odd. Also, he's standing at a fake podium to a fake audience.
Right.
It's just, it's weird that it's a trans reality.
Yeah.
What I honestly think is he could have been talking about his health. Trump's got he eats fast food. He's got a bit of the cankles. He could be talking about the fact that the left has tried to kill him so many times. And I'm going to go ahead and say that's a funny joke.
You like the joke?
It's fine. It's you keep trying to kill him. Right. So they're saying you have a good look for an expected widow. I understand that people don't like the guy who's saying it.
Yes.
But there's logic and reason to the joke, and it's still a joke. You don't have to like it, but I will never be on the side of throw somebody off of TV or cancel them based on something that was a joke.
We agree on that. I'm totally with you. There's a bit of me, and I will admit this, I consider it a bit of a personal weakness, and I try to push it down, which is that I didn't develop these standards. In fact, I fought against it my entire life for people to get fired for jokes. The fact that Jimmy Kimmel has never stood up, didn't stand up for Gina Carano, didn't stand up for anyone on the right who's ever made a joke or had made a comment, didn't stand up for Megyn Kelly when they were throwing her off the air because
she asked a question.
Asked a question about blackface Halloween
she could
costumes.
Wear it which I know so many kids that dressed as Urkel.
Yeah, right. It was a pretty common thing back in the day. And
back in the day?
I'll say, you with the hat backwards, you're kind of giving me the vibes that you could be in a show with Urkel right now.
With my hat backwards, if you met me at 17, I certainly identified as a different group of people.
I totally believe it.
Oh, dude, you've seen my chains and my earrings.
How do we get pictures of you in this era?
I'll bring some.
Can you bring some? I've got to see this. Because right now, all I'm picturing is you showing up on a sitcom as a cop trying to bust like a middle school.
Oh, it's very much the Steve Buscemi meme of just like, hey, kids.
Hey, kids.
I hear
Fellow kids, how are you?
Is there drugs in school? Yeah, no, I definitely know what it's like to code switch. I did it. I did it depending on whose house I was at and what I was purchasing. So
again, totally believable. Every
completely
bit of this
true.
is
Yeah.
completely believable. Okay,
I didn't put subwoofers in the trunk of every car I owned because I was so proud of my whiteness.
I will say, in the particular area that you grew up in, perhaps your skin tone not as much appreciated.
No, it would depend where you're at. If you're in the wealthy neighborhoods, it was appreciated.
When you got pulled over, how did you code switch?
I'll tell you what, being arrested 13 times, I will say it does have a lot to do with money. A lot of the rich kids I knew never got in trouble, and this guy did.
Yeah.
And I was middle class.
Spite Whitey.
Lower middle class,
Yeah.
middle class,
Did you have your hat on backwards, though, because people could have...
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
In fairness, I got pulled over completely because I did something wrong.
Well, you usually got pulled over after you crashed into something.
Correct.
Yes. So.
Or I swerved between 3 lanes, or they saw me hitting a 6-foot bong that I kept in the trunk of my Jeep and would let people. All right, I would keep in the front and light, and people would sit in the trunk and hit it.
Oh,
We'd drive around in a cloud of smoke.
Well, it can't be illegal if it's all the way in the trunk.
That's what I mean. It's
Right.
barely even in the car.
Yeah, it's a great argument legally. I know many attorneys would approve of this. So I want to, on the Kimmel thing, I agree with you that I'm not like calling for his firing. I'm not concerned about it. I think
I know you're not.
I don't know that I don't know that I would say it was a great joke. Is there a consideration here? Because I do think this is true, that when you're talking about a guy who has been actually shot on stage in front of our eyes, who is the constant target of assassins and bullets and violence, is there someone in his role in particular who is a network-based mainstream, not a comedian, a host or whatever? What did he say he was?
I mean, you would say late night comedian, late night talk show
Late night talk
host.
show
I
host.
guess he just considers himself a host.
Is there a thought to say, you know what, look, I can make a lot of jokes about Donald Trump. There's plenty of material here. Maybe I skip the assassination ones?
There is. I mean, there's an idea of manners. I mean, this was made before it happened. Is that right?
Yes, that is true. It was made before, but I mean, after multiple other attempts on his life. It's not like it was like an ancient history that people were trying to kill this guy.
Well, and I keep seeing people arguing about, is he half black? Is he half white? Like, who should we blame this on? Right. And that's another thing, I guess, altogether. But yeah, it is something to constantly talk about how a guy should be taken out in so many words, and then also get angry at political violence. I understand that, but I think there's also the role of a comedian, if he considers himself that, and in his defense, where if I say something to you, which I'll say on this show, that's very insensitive or completely meant as a joke, I think it should be taken that way, and I think you're allowed to have your own actual opinions on the side.
Yes,
I
agree.
I think all the time the problem now is jokes are taken so literally that the stuff people have had to apologize for or it should always be about your intention, not the other person's interpretation. And I don't think that his intention in this case was to incite violence in any way.
I don't either. I just think he's making. I do think that he doesn't really like. I think in private, does he really care if someone winds up being successful in one of these situations? Probably not.
No, probably not.
Frankly, you see how many people have we showed? Like you watch them on TikTok, you watch them on social media. We see people like Taylor Lorenz, a Washington Post, New York Times journalist, celebrating the execution of a healthcare executive.
Yes,
publicly. They're not even hiding it. I think there was at one point a level of shame that hit the left, for example. And I think this happens on both sides to some degree, although right now I don't think it's a both sides issue. I think this is much more a bigger left-wing issue right now. But I was on with Megyn Kelly earlier today. She played a clip of Ronald Reagan right after he was shot. Johnny Carson comes out, and he's at the Grammys, at the Oscars, one of the awards. And he says, we delayed this ceremony for a day because of the shooting of President Reagan. We weren't sure even if he was going to make it. Now he's in much better spirits. And everyone in the audience clapped, roared with approval. They were excited that their president was alive. This is Ronald Reagan. This is not a non-controversial figure, right?
Oh, he was, yeah.
Yeah, and I have to imagine, Dave, in that audience, there were tons of people who hated Ronald Reagan. This is a Hollywood audience. And probably, secretly, weren't upset at all. But there was a level of public acceptance of celebrating someone's death. They weren't willing to cross that line. They knew it would make them look terrible to celebrate it. And I think we've crossed the line there, which is a scary line.
I would agree with you fully. I mean, there is a point now where I think manners have gone out the window. There is a level of brainwashing where you go on TikTok and you see people talking about how, oh, I wish that he would have hit him. There's bars that were like, oh, we almost had free beer night had he died.
Yes.
I think now the fact that when I was young, you had a certain level of respect for the president, which you don't have to have. No. But I would have never said in front of my dad, who I very much blame on the government for his death, something negative about the president. He would have been furious because not because he voted for him. It would just be if I was celebrating the death or said someone should die.
Yeah.
That would be a serious problem. And if I say it as a joke or something on stage, the person's not in the limelight. But the problem is this has become something that not only is it celebrated when it happens, it's also said. It's so confusing. It's a psyop. It's not their fault. People should be able to say whatever they want, while simultaneously saying, "Let's get them next time. Let's encourage more people to do this." I mean, that's the actual narrative. It's more and more people being pushed, and I think you do have somewhat of a responsibility as a late night host to maybe back off. I shouldn't say as a late night host, as a human being, to maybe back off because no one did this to Biden. No one did this to Obama. Behind closed doors, absolutely they did. There's no way nobody wanted to kill the first black president. I promise you that.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They weren't constantly doing it.
And they weren't being rewarded for it, and there weren't people on television backing it up saying it was a great idea. And nobody in this room felt that way. Mm-hmm. Nobody in this room wanted to see Biden get assassinated. I mean, sure, we thought maybe he'd do it by falling off a bike or falling upstairs or slipping off a stage. I mean, there's a good chance he was going to be assassinated by his own brain at any second. But realistically, none of us were rooting for his death. You just were going, well, let's wait for the term to end. And there's a special thing now with Trump where it is accepted.
They want it. They want it to happen. A lot of them do.
Oh, no, I would say a large amount of this country want it to happen. And that's what I think is sad.
I think sort of a corollary to what you're talking about, Dave, is with the comedy angle on it. Because I'm totally with you on this. Like, basically, comedians have to have freedom to be able to say things that are very offensive and horrible, but also really funny. You have to be able to chase that, and you have to be able to take yourself out of your own opinion to put yourself in a place to say something that's inappropriate enough to make people laugh. I totally agree. And as a person who's kind of done commentary for a zillion years, like, we have been accused. When I was doing the show with Glenn many, many times of creating a violent act, some crazy person who associates themselves with some opinion that we might have, like, I want lower taxes. Some person can take that to some crazy extreme and go and commit violence. The media, the same media defending Jimmy Kimmel, were out there constantly calling for Glenn's head over things like that.
Yes.
And we have to, in a country with a First Amendment, have an availability to be able to go out there and say things, even things that are over the line, even things that are completely wrong. If you want to call Trump Hitler or fascist, that's a completely dumb opinion. He's not either of those things. But it is important to defend your right to do that, and you shouldn't get blamed for violence when it comes to that. I think that's a really bright line for me. Just to add one layer to that, though.
Right.
The main difference I'm seeing today is the difference we were talking about when it comes to the lionization of people committing the violent acts. I've never been in a world where, someone on the right commits some violent act and everybody, all my friends and the other conservative commentators are saying, yeah, they got him. Well, he deserved it. I mean, violence is bad or whatever, but like, he deserved that. And I'm glad that happened. I've never been in a situation where I've seen anybody do that. Even in like my private life, I don't see that.
Even when it was like Saddam Hussein or somebody
I may have celebrated the Osama bin Laden death a little bit.
Me too, yeah. But of other people, it still seemed that was universally less accepted than this.
Yeah.
Now, and that's what's kind of crazy.
Hassan Piker is saying these things. He's being invited with the New York Times. They're running glowing op-eds about him.
Hassan Piker.
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Hassan Piker. He's torturing.
Wants to be called.
Yeah, I assume. He's torturing dogs all over the place and being welcomed into polite society. But the fact that like someone like the murderer of the healthcare executive is lionized like that, we know from looking study after study after study of mass shooters, the one thing you can really lock into, it's not video games, it's not music, it's not, any belief system.
Could be SSRIs, but go on.
It could be. The one I will say, the second thing that people might lock into there, and it's been proven over and over again, is when they become a cult hero in a particular in-group, right? Mm-hmm. The Columbine aftermath, when people started praising him, looking to up their score, getting obsessed with these guys, that is when you do get copycats. And that's what's happening right now. We're printing them with the way that particular shooter in New York, who I don't even want to say his name because of this reason. It's why we don't name mass shooters on the Blaze, because it has been scientifically linked over and over again to get more of these people if you do it. And what is the left doing? They're printing these people right now. They're praising them. They're going out on social media and saying, what a wonderful job. I just wish they would have succeeded with it when it comes to the president. That is terrible and an awful development for our country.
I agree. And people like Don Lemon have pushed that. There's a lot of people involved who are at fault of this. Or do push this narrative. I think there's a few things there. With Columbine, you have Dylan Klebold. Sorry, I won't say their name. We just talked about that. But the two that did it, though, you're talking about a kid who was an absolute sociopath. Yep. These were fairly popular kids. A lot of the narrative was to kind of go against, it's the weird kids, the kids that are into metal. It wasn't. It was a sociopath, and it was a kid who was kind of a follower, not a leader. Mm-hmm. And they did something that was immensely stupid that we had never seen before. I was a junior in high school when that happened. So I remember it very well. And it was freaky, and it was not something that you would ever assume would just start happening every other Wednesday like it does now. I think with the comedy angle and them coming out and talking about it, there has to be a balance where Trump offends a lot of people. He says terrible things to people that I find hilarious. He does a lot of stuff that I think is almost stand-up level. And he does not check himself before he speaks, which, you know what, I like. I'm going to be honest. I realize it's not always the best play, but he does put himself out there to get a little bit more fire at him, and I mean that metaphorically, not the actual people coming up to hurt him. And that's why I think they have to be a little... They have to not draw so much attention to this too, his cabinet. They don't need her to come out and call for the firing. I think that is ridiculous, because the most important thing in this is freedom of speech. If we lose any of that for any reason, regardless of what we can blame, these people did this because of this, we're going down the wrong path. Now, I do think people could exercise manners. I do think people could be a little more understanding. I think we should be aware of the fact that people want to be liked more than they want to be individuals. And that's one of the scariest things going on right now, because I doubt a lot of the people going on TikTok were, you certainly you were never a 5-year-old celebrating somebody's murder. This hate was bred into you, and that goes both ways. And freedom of speech, we have to have it. So these are going to be some of the consequences of it. But I do really think that people need to check themselves and maybe think before they speak, just for the sake of other people and in humanity. But if they don't, that's the price we pay.
Yeah. No, and I wish there was a measure of consistency from, let's say, ABC, who fired the guy who defended the Bachelor or Bachelorette contestant who just went to an antebellum party when she was 18 years old. He defended her and was like, come on, she was 18 years old. It was years ago. It was a different standard. They fired him. They just destroyed this guy's career over that. They destroyed Gina Carano's career, ABC did. And she was like the one good thing that Disney did with Star Wars was her character.
Oh, I know. She was great.
They wiped her off the planet and ruined her career over this. And
they also are the same people that installed the trap door into Matt Lauer's office so he could get all the sex he wanted. So, yes.
They have a lot of strange lines, I will say.
Yeah, the hypocrisy's there.
And honestly, the line is quite clear. If you're on the left, you're fine.
Yes.
If you're on the right, you're not. And like Jimmy Kimmel quite obviously should be fired for his ratings. His ratings are a horror show compared to what that show used to be. And I would argue, destroyed it. I don't think it's all politics. A lot of it's technology, and there's other things as well. But I mean, he is justifiably due to be fired because of his on-air performance.
Yes, and look, Fallon and Gutfeld talk to each other. People can not like Jimmy Fallon, but he's not a guy who's gone again. I mean, Fallon was almost fired from TV because he tousled Trump's hair. Do you remember the controversy of that? Mm-hmm. They were like, he humanized
treated him like a human.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, he's a human. It's
easy to humanize a human.
Very easy.
Not for them.
He treated him like a guest, and with respect.
Yeah.
Like Fallon or not, or find him funny or not, that's what you should do. Usually if you have a guest on, just out of pure decency.
Yeah.
And if something goes sideways, it should be a little bit rare, like it's just dating, but, like the Mark Summers, Burt Reynolds clip where somebody says the wrong thing and now they're pouring water on each other. That was more fun of late night. But now it's become this very serious thing. And I don't think that like I said, I don't think that just for manners and the sake of a society should you be standing by murder. And look, we've all been called Nazis and white supremacists and every word imaginable I've been called. I've lost gigs. I had an AA thing, and I only call out AA because at the time I was on Steven Crowder. One of the people there were offended. I was going to speak to addicts about addiction and overcoming it. There's nothing else there. Other than that, it had nothing to do with politics.
Right.
But somebody complained enough and it was a free gig. I was doing it because that's how AA works. You have to do certain things in service, for the organization. Mm. So I lost a gig I was doing for free in Wisconsin because somebody was upset that I was on a talk show. They didn't empathize with me as an addict or any of the things that I've struggled with.
Amazing.
They had me canceled from a gig that was about recovery. So I
don't care about any of that stuff. When it comes to the supposed good you're doing, they don't care. I mean, go back to Imus. Imus makes a joke about the Rutgers women's basketball team. He gets canceled. Yeah. This is a guy who raised millions and millions and millions of dollars for things like SIDS, like for kids with cancer. None of them cared that all that was going away when they canceled him.
Yeah, and look, I didn't like what he said. I thought it was a bad joke. But at the same time, you're live on a mic, you talk about it all the time, and every now and then you're going to say something stupid. Mm-hmm. But the problem is now people waiting to pounce when you say something on accident or you say something. That's what sucks. And the people who are doing this deliberately keep getting rewarded, and that's a shame.
Mm. All right. We have a bunch to do today. When we come back, we're going to look at some other crazy leftists taking things a bit too far. We'll see how you feel about that and so much more. It's Stu and Dave Do America. There's some stories that never get old because they're kind of timeless, right? They're not about one place or one time in history. They're about human nature. And unfortunately, that subject always stays relevant because we screw it up so often. Animal Farm is one of those stories.
Is this the Robert Kennedy?
No, this is not the Robert Kennedy audiobook. No,
it's not?
No.
I thought it was the RFK.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, that would be that no one would consume that product. It is.
Oh, hell,
are you in?
Look, you read whatever ad you want.
You may remember hearing audiobook of RFK Jr. reading Animal Farm to you at some point in your life, maybe in your dreams, like if you're Dave. But it is one of those important books that you're supposed to kind of understand and appreciate. Well, maybe later on that was going to come in your future because you were probably in high school and didn't actually want to read it at that point. But now you're at a situation where you might have kids and George Orwell's book is becoming more and more relevant as we go. There's a new animated version of Animal Farm that is of course, a classic story brought to life. Feels sharp, engaging, and very timely. It works kind of as a movie first, which matters, but also gives you plenty to think about afterward. If you watch it with your older kids, it opens the door to conversations that are getting harder and harder to have, especially because they won't look you in the eye because they're constantly looking at their phones. This book, of course, about power, about
brother, mom took Tylenol.
Yes. It's a sad story, but
it's 2 RFKs in one read.
Yeah, that's a lot of RFK in this particular Animal Farm spot. I will tell you, Animal Farm is in theaters May 1st. RFK Jr. will be in each theater if you go to attend.
Allegedly.
Tickets are available now at angel.com/Animal Farm. Angel Studios is awesome, by the way. They do great work, and we love them. Angel.com/Animal Farm, recommended for ages 11 and up. It's angel.com/Animal Farm. Join us on Blaze TV. Become a member, and you get access to the entire network, behind-the-scenes stuff. We're doing a behind-the-scenes thing coming up in a couple weeks, I think.
Yes, we are.
It's called Off the Record.
Yeah, Off the Record.
Yeah, so only subscribers.
Got real sexy, and we weren't able to air it.
Yeah. So it's very much on the cutting room floor.
Yes.
Everyone agreed.
All of it was.
Cut the entire episode. But we're going to do another one coming up here in a couple of weeks. So if you're a Blaze TV subscriber or you become one before then, you'll be able to ask any question you want. We'll talk about whatever you want. And it's a lot of fun. So we've got that coming up, blazetv.com/Stu and Dave. The code is Stu and Dave.
Spell it out,
Try
though.
to remember that. Yes. It's all, how about this? All one word. That always helps me understand what's going on the internet. Yeah.
I tend to leave a lot of spaces in my passwords.
Me too. All the time. Just space after space. We also have predictableshow.com. If you go there, we have a bunch of stuff up there. We're doing kind of like, warm-up episodes, I guess. We don't have everything going yet, but we're going to be starting here very soon with the full studio done. And tonight we have some stuff on the election. Where does that stand? There's a big New York Times thing about how the election is looking really bad for Republicans. Is that true? How pessimistic should we be? We'll get into that with the help of prediction markets and all the data that you need. Predictableshow.com or youtube.com/@predictableshow. You also can see Dave Landau out and about all over this great country, all throughout the month of May, Dave.
Yes, you can see me this weekend. Come out to the Soul Theater in Boca Raton, Florida. Also, May 9th, Pottstown, Pennsylvania at Soul Joel's. May 15th, 16th, Greenwood, Indiana at the Mad Hatter Event Center. May 20th, San Francisco at Cobb's Comedy Club. May 21st, Sacramento, California, The Punchline. May 22, 23, Fort Worth, Texas. And the 24th, you can see me at the Creek in the Cave in Austin, Texas. I'm going to be recording a half-hour special for Gas Digital.
Yeah, you can also follow Dave on social media to get the dates or davelandau.com for tickets. Speaking of social media, Bethany Mandel tweeted this. This is an incredible observation coming off of the assassination attempt. She says, imagine Barack Obama surviving 3 assassination attempts and 18 hours later, a Republican sent a fundraising email like this. This is Katie Porter is the person who sent this. She is running for governor poorly.
Yes.
To the fact that she was most of the time losing for the guy who had to drop out of the race because he was molesting women all over California.
That's correct.
Eric Swalwell, our boy.
Swalwell Show.
Our boy that we've successfully removed from Congress as our first task on this particular program. Katie Porter, she's now, I think, maybe 4th place after Swalwell drops out.
She's first place in the looks like Nathan Lane in the birdcage contest.
She's not an attractive lady. No. Now look, you're not looking at too
it's
attractive.
Not a beauty
men,
pageant.
right? No,
you know
exactly.
What I mean? Compared to her, I am.
Yeah.
Compared to her, I'm an attractive lady.
It's true. I have to say, she's just not her strong suit. It really, I'm sure she's got other things that she's wonderful on, like abusing her employees.
I was going to say, she's so hostile to Trump. She must think he's an intern getting her coffee.
So this is what she writes as a fundraising email sent out 18 hours after the president was almost murdered. Oh God, I can't take this. F Trump is the subject. And listen to this horrible setup, Dave. I am Katie Porter. Some of you know me as the whiteboard lady who held CEOs and billionaires accountable in Congress. Nobody knows her for that. Literally 0 people on earth know Katie Porter for that.
No one knows anyone for that. Have you seen the state of the world?
That's true. Nobody does.
Especially you, Katie Porter. You should just call her Katie Portley.
That's just not. Okay, so there's some accuracy. Again, and
there's a lot.
Again, neither one of us are exactly svelte.
I don't want to see her hurt. That's what we should point out.
Right? No, well, of course not.
But if she walked into a Waffle House, she'd hurt it. You put her by, oh boy.
All buffets should fear.
Talk about hurt. You should see her stomach after ordering at IHOP.
So Katie Porter goes on to say, so I want to start with one simple, powerful message we all agree on. Say it with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. F Trump. That's right. She goes, yeah, that's right. F Trump.
She's mashed potatoes pouring mad.
She really is. And she's a tough gal.
She is.
She's a tough gal, Dave.
Yes.
When you see a politician and they swear they're tough and they really mean what they're saying, it's not performative at all.
No, I've always said that. If she says, say it with me in writing where no one else can say it,
Right.
it's all logic.
And then counts it down.
Yeah.
Oh, God, the cringe. And I just can't.
I really am legitimately the douche chills
Yes.
going up my spine right now.
It is so outside of how tasteless it is after a president is almost assassinated to send a message like that. It's much worse for the douche chills.
Yeah, it's all of America, like when Elizabeth Warren opened that beer.
Oh, yes.
To look like an everyman. And she looks at her husband. She's like, "Would you like to have an alcohol with me?" And he's like, "No." He just pours wine, goes in the other room. I was waiting to hear a gunshot.
You hear pouring, but it's him pouring gasoline on himself.
Yeah, the room just gets bright orange.
Oh, God. I want to see that entire scene acted out.
Oh, I would love it, and not in real life. Just
yes, as a sketch.
What our
as a sketch.
prediction was
Yes.
of what was happening.
A sketch. We're talking about sketch comedy here. That's all.
Of course, if you ask her husband, he's like, "No, I want to see it acted out."
All right. Well, we need to talk about. What could possibly go wrong? Michael Jackson. We'll do that next. Well, there's a new movie out called Michael. It is about Michael Jackson and is from Lionsgate. The director had a bit of an issue with it. This is one of those movies that I would not say a Michael Jackson fan, but I listened to him, of course, growing up, and obviously known, the king of pop, if you will. Had a little bit of, I don't remember exactly what happened, a little bit of a falling out with Polite Society at one point, and then died.
Yes,
That's his history. That's the whole movie, by the way.
Yes.
Actually, they didn't get to most of that in the movie. They had a lot of reshoots. On this particular movie. They cut out the abuse allegations from it entirely.
That's a bit odd.
You don't think is that an important part of the story, though, Dave?
I mean, having a Michael Jackson biopic or biopic, however you want to say it, I say biopic, tomato.
Yes.
But having a biopic about Michael Jackson without any abuse allegations, kind of like having a movie about OJ where he just wins the Heisman.
He was what a successful rookie year. The end.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that is true. It's kind of an important part of the tale.
It is a little bit. I understand why you may not want to film it.
Yes.
It's probably a little odd if you're watching a fun movie with music and you're like, "What?" And he's like, "Come on, my teacups." Yeah. Showing plans for an amusement park outside, and all of his friends going, "Please don't do this."
Anything but no, that's true.
I don't have a childhood. I sound like Mr. Hanky.
I was going to say that's not a Michael Jackson
at all.
Impression
I'm
at
not
all.
good at impressions. I never said I was.
No, you didn't. That was not what we sold the show on.
No, it wasn't.
We never said any good impressions would be done on this particular show. I will say I had an experience with the
Michael Jackson. You were 10.
Yeah, I was 10. There was some liquids. Jesus juice, he called it.
Yes.
He did call it Jesus juice. Remember that?
Yes, it was a wine.
That was the accusation. There are people who really believe it didn't happen. It's hard looking at the way he handled it and just how weird he was. It was hard to imagine he didn't do it.
I think with Macaulay Culkin, Corey Feldman, all these people that have come out, there is a chance that he really didn't. And the fact that they made that whole HBO series and it turned out those were fraudulent.
Yeah, there were some real questions.
Somebody went to jail over that. I think he was a target.
Yeah.
And I think he was obviously horribly abused by his dad.
Yeah, that does seem. And again, that's not really covered here either, right?
No.
It just basically goes through. Hey, he made Thriller. Like that's the movie, like,
right?
Just basically covering. Hey,
it's basically a buddy cop film with him and Vincent Price.
Yeah. Now that I might watch.
I would.
That frankly sounds amazing. After he died and was he died. I think with most people believing he did do terrible things to children.
Yes, they do. Yeah,
and there's some like revisionist history going on about that. I don't know which side of the right. I haven't followed it enough to know.
I'm in the gray on it. I'm a fan. I believed he did it for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And now I don't know.
After this, I had an experience though, Dave. My kids were young, and we went to. I was looking for something for them to do on the weekends, and I bought tickets to a dessert festival which to me sounds like the greatest thing ever invented, right?
Yeah,
A
it's great.
dessert festival.
I'll go right now.
Right now, I would go to any dessert festival. Like, why isn't everything named that? Everyone would go. So I bought tickets to this dessert festival. You know, we were in Dallas. Like, I don't really know the area all that well. So I bought tickets to the dessert festival and I go to the area. And I will say it was a culturally different area than I'm maybe used to in my normal, everyday life.
I gotcha. I see what you're saying.
There was a difference in culture.
Yes.
Desserts, first of all, wasn't familiar with a lot of them.
We call it ethnic.
Ethnic.
It's an ethnic area.
Ethnic. And what I found to be fascinating.
A smorgasbord.
Of different things and spices and sweeteners I didn't even know existed.
Symphony of different countries.
Very strange event.
Uh-huh.
I will say one of the strangest things about it was there was a
Being served brownies. A guy in MS-13 sitting in a lowrider.
I was eating brownies and suddenly fell asleep and woke up 3 months later in Colombia. No, it was
One kidney left.
It was a Michael Jackson impersonator.
Oh,
This is like pretty soon after he's died. A Michael Jackson impersonator going around and being fond of. I will say, like, everyone loved the guy, and I found it to be very strange as a kid with like toddlers that you would want your kid to have pictures taken with Michael Jackson in this particular era. Unfortunately, apparently other communities did not agree with that particular take.
they thought that it was I
thought it was great.
There are certain communities that allow it.
Yes.
I mean, I once went to my niece's dance recital, and they were all dressed as Jean-Benet Ramsey. So it just depends on really where your bar is.
Yes, I suppose.
Some people say it was her fault.
I don't think that's
You're right,
that's
don't.
not a stance.
No, you're right, though. That is very uncomfortable. I will say, though, when I first saw this article, I did see it, and it said, abuse allegations and director. I just assumed it was the director. I didn't know it had anything to do with Michael Jackson at first. There's so much abuse in Hollywood. It should just be a category on IMDb.
Yes, it really should be. We all weep for Harvey Weinstein's ferns.
I know, don't we?
Yes,
They are really
sad moments for them. We got to take a break. Back in a second. Buying or selling a home has a way of making normal people feel like they suddenly need like 3 new careers. Overnight, you're expected to be a pricing expert and a negotiator and a contract lawyer and a market analyst and, a home stager, I guess, and maybe apparently a therapist. You need all of it. And if you get any of it wrong, the stakes are not exactly small. That's why I love realestateagentsitrust.com. They connect you with agents who know what they're doing. They understand the market and communicate clearly, and they know how to guide people through the process and get complicated issues done in a hurry. The truth is, if you're buying or selling a home, it's going to be stressful no matter what, but why not make it a lot better and make sure things go right with the right agent? From realestateagentsitrust.com, this is a free service to you, by the way. If you're buying or selling a home, just jump on this. realestateagentsitrust.com. It's realestateagentsitrust.com. All right, don't forget blazetv.com/Stu and Dave. Use the code Stu and Dave. Get $20 off your subscription. Also, predictableshow.com is the place to go for the prediction market show that I do. Also, YouTube. Just search for Predictable with Stu. You can see that there. And DaveLandau.com to get tickets to see Dave all over the country.
Indeed. I have a shirt. It says, it's by Killer Confessions, a band. It says this. Can you see it?
Says, save a kid, kill a pedophile.
Yes.
There you go.
So, which I agree with. So I'm wondering, people in the comments who watch that, if you're angry on any take on Michael Jackson, I'm curious what you think happened, because over time I feel like there's evidence that have come out to support both things. So I am wondering what the actual viewers of the show believe.
Yeah, did Jackson do this with kids?
Was he just a broken guy who thought he was kind of a child? Because I really think it's one or the other. Once you cross that line, I don't think that there's coming back.
I was going to watch a documentary about it, and then I was like, do I really want to spend all these hours thinking about Michael Jackson and children? Probably not.
No, you don't. Believe me.
So drop it in the comments. See you tomorrow.